Alright, there's mom and dad. Yeah, just okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, so Michelle Johnson of CQ Researchers states nearly 75% of the world's inhabitants, 5.1 billion people, live in countries that restrict religious freedom, a fundamental human right under international law. So that leads me to the question of why is the freedom of religion being repressed or attacked in this country and also in this world. So my first, second, and third points. My first one is going to be, I'll tell you why I believe that that religious freedom is important to our country. Second, I'll tell you about why I believe the freedom of religion is being attacked. And lastly, I'll tell you about what we can do to keep these rights secure. So what exactly is freedom of religion? Dictionary.com states, freedom of religion means the right to choose a religion or no religion without interference by government. Freedom of religion is guaranteed by the First Amendment of the Constitution. So point one, why is freedom of religion so important to our world? As I was gathering my thoughts together and asking my dad for help as well, we came to the realization that freedom of religion, if you don't have a freedom to choose your religion, you really don't have freedom for anything. You know, it's kind of shocking and just kind of mind-blowing to think that this one choice that you have dictates almost everything you do. Our government is also a democracy, which means the people have a say in what goes on. And if we didn't, it would it would be considered communist, meaning the government would have control over everything we do. So I kind of see ourselves taking those baby steps in that direction, which is pretty scary. Also, freedom of religion is a part of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. This old document is still so relevant even today in 2014. And we've seen some leaders step away from this and some stay in line with this. But these amendments are definitely something that's there to help us, and these guidelines that we should stick to. Also, freedom of religion is impossible to change in a person. It's an inalienable right, which means ultimately it's impossible to take away. As I was growing up in school, hearing the word inalienable right, I never thought of it being something impossible that you can take away from somebody. I just thought it was a right that everybody deserved to have. But even outside of the First Amendment, in the Constitution, in this world, religion is something that can't be taken away. So it's not something that only in our Constitution is something that we have, but even in the world. So leading on to my next point, which is point two, why does it seem that religion is being attacked? I believe our government has gone away from its fundamental values. So everything that we were founded on, we're slowly kind of going away from that, like I said before. So for example, Christianity tends to go against the grain of our government now. So I believe that that religion itself is being attacked more than others. And I think that the government just kind of shoves that stuff underneath the rug, kind of just thinking it's going to go away. Like I said before, these amendments in the Constitution were founded a long time ago, but it's definitely an outline for how our government should work, and kind of just like a boundary and a safety net for our country. Also, with talking about religious freedom of religion being attacked, it's kind of ironic to me how, for example, I found a quote from President Obama at the National Prayer Breakfast stating, promoting freedom of religion, is a key objective of the U.S. foreign policy. So you have somebody saying that freedom of religion is key, but then in our country, there's things that show otherwise. So you can't pray in school, you can't read your Bible, you can't say that, you can't freely enjoy the things that you have in your religion. So leaving you with my third and final point, how do we keep these rights secure? First of all, we elect the right people in office. We vote for people that have fundamental values and ideas that support what this country was founded on. And basically, an overview of the First Amendment pretty much says that Congress does not have power to establish a religion or prohibit the partaking of one. So everybody inevitably gets to choose whatever they want to believe, and should have the option to do that without fearing that the government has a say in that, or even limits that at any effect. So this is one of my last quotes here that I found from Rutherford Institute, which states, if our First Amendment protections are to remain intact, however, it will require courageous individuals who will be willing to take a stand for them. So we do have to fight for what is right. We're kind of already too far in. We have to fight for what we believe. I just think that if you disregard such a crucial amendment, what makes you think that they won't do the same thing with another one? And I would just leave you with saying, in conclusion, I would say, maybe you're not a religious person, but just think of it this way. What if they or the government started to mess around with an amendment, or kind of twist something around that was really important to you? Then you would want to take the proper steps to make sure that didn't happen. So again, I just want to overview the points. First was why I believe religious freedom is important to our country. Second, why it's being attacked. And third, what we can do to secure those, or to secure that right. And then last, I just want to say, and this is a quote from Alexander Hamilton, if you don't stand for something, you'll stand for anything. So fight for what is right, and hopefully I've persuaded you to do what's in your heart to do, and what you believe is best for you and our country as a whole. Thank you. You can close it. It should stop.
Very good.
Anyways.
Very good.
Yep. All right. Hold on.
Very good.
Auto.